So you've all seen the extensive SwitchBot content that I've put out on this channel. And today we've got more. This is the SwitchBot motion sensor and contact sensor, built for two entirely different purposes, but with way more value than I originally thought they would have. Let me explain. So let's start with the motion sensor. Here it is, a small plastic device with a ball built for motion sensing. Seeing a range of 110 degrees wide and 55 degrees vertically, it casts a wide viewing angle and sends motion alerts accordingly. And speaking of notifications, you can set them based on motion sensitivity, ranging from a longer 7 to 9 meters down to 0 to 2 meters. Great for if you only want motion alerts in a certain part of the room. Now, why would you want this thing? I mean, a standard motion alert every time you walk through a room at its best is kind of annoying. But when you pair it with a SwitchBot Smart Hub and connect it to the internet and then connect it with all of your SwitchBot lineup, that's where it gets way more useful. Say you're walking into your kitchen, it senses motion, and you tell it to start your coffee maker, for example, using your SwitchBot bot. Or perhaps you're walking into the living room and you tell it to turn on your TV. Whatever the situation is, the motion sensor can tie into a specific sense and then trigger an action based on that. But what makes this sensor even more worth it is that it actually has two sensors built in. So yes, you have the motion sensor, number one, but you also have a light sensor built in. So that means that it can sense in the room whether it's light or whether it's dark, and it can again trigger an action based on that. This means that when darkness is sensed, it's able to turn on a light for you, or when the room gets bright, you could tell it to close your SwitchBot curtains. Again, on its own, it's not a very special product, but once it ties into the rest of the lineup or other products that you have around your smart home, it makes a lot more sense. So that's SwitchBot motion sensor, coming with both a wide motion sensor and customizable options, and a light sensor built in. But we've also got SwitchBot's contact sensor. So how it works is you put the larger part on the door using a 3M sticker, and then you put the smaller part, which is essentially just a magnet and can be swapped out for other magnets, by the way, on the trim or on the wall right next to it. Once the door opens and those contacts get pulled apart, it triggers an action and it sends you a notification. And you can customize those notifications whether you want it to alert you once the door is opened, closed, or say it's open for an extended period of time and maybe you forgot to close it. You can do any combination of those things along with if motion is sensed nearby, because this also packs in a motion sensor. And if that's not enough, it also packs in a light sensor. So this essentially has the contact sensor for opening and closing the door, as well as everything that we just covered with the motion sensor all packed into one. And additional value adds also include a button on the back, which can stop whatever action that you have going on. So say you want to mute one notification right before you're going to open the door, you press the button, then you can open the door freely without it triggering a notification. And SwitchBot also threw in another thing here, which is an NFC trigger. And you can set that up with whatever custom action you want through your phone and through the app. So that means when you tap your phone on the contact sensor, it can trigger a specific action. So all in all, this device includes a lot of different options for you. You've got the contact sensor for the door opening and closing, the motion sensor if anything happens nearby, the light sensor to trigger whether it's light or dark in the area, the button to stop and start an action, and an NFC trigger built right in. So that's 5 different actions on what should really just be something that tells you if the door is open or closed, which is why I say it adds a lot of value with this one specific product. So all in all, the motion sensor and the contact sensor, both great value for everything that they pack into those small devices. My only complaint is that while it works great with other SwitchBot products, it doesn't necessarily play nicely with other assistants like Google Assistant or HomeKit. And while it's not a deal breaker, I do think that it would open up a lot of possibilities just by integrating with those two options. That would mean turning on and off your Philips Hue lights using these sensors, whereas right now they only really work with SwitchBot products. If you have any questions about these products, leave it down below and I'll be sure to get to all of those. While you're down there, remember to hit the like button because it tells YouTube that videos like this don't suck, and hit the subscribe button to see more videos like this from me. Thank you guys so much for watching and supporting the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.